This podcast episode is sponsored by Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law.
Good day, seniors and active adults. Welcome back to our YouTube podcast, Get Your Weekly Slice, where we protect, inform, and educate you, our seniors and active adults, every week about what you should know as you age. It is about keeping you, our seniors, in the know. Let's begin with this podcast. Have you thought about this? When a spouse dies, what do? Do you know what your spouse did for you, for the both of you? So I want you to kind of understand that if one spouse passes, what were their responsibilities? And if they pass, are you able to pick up and take off with those responsibilities that they took care of when you were both together? So what happens if you don't? Who do you know? Who do you need to bring in to help you get through what the other spouse did for the both of you? Now understand, it's all about trust, and who do you turn to help you do that? So I want to share with you, as a real estate agent, a certified senior housing professional, this is what I do. It's about protecting, informing, and educating you, our seniors and active adults. But most importantly, it's about being proactive as opposed to reactive. But understand, I'm different than other real estate agents simply because I have a wide network. So whatever your situation is, I'll be able to tap into my network of trusted resources and services. But most importantly, I will be able to inform and educate you, provide you with options, and let you choose which is going to be the best path for you once that significant other passes away. So we always know that the women of the household, ordinarily, sometimes things change. They did the laundry, they did the grocery shopping, they did the cooking, they did the cleaning, they were in charge of the social agenda. And the male was in charge of the home maintenance, handled all the money, did the investing, paid the bills, checking account, made sure they had proper insurance, paid the taxes, paid the HOA dues or condo dues, whatever they might be, and hopefully took care of the legal aspect of things. And I think the legal aspect is probably one of the most important aspects of all of this, simply because you need to have an elder law attorney as your advisor when you age. And basically, that elder law attorney can handle your directives. So for both of you or the one who's still alive, you need to put into place directives as to who's going to be power of attorney, who's going to take care of you if your health declines, make those medical decisions, who's going to take care of you if you're mentally unable to pay your bills or make rational decisions about your living arrangements. That elder law attorney can also set up a will, a trust. They know probate. They do estate planning. They also do real estate. So keep that in mind when doing or putting anything in place legally. Elder law attorney is what you need because they can keep everything under one umbrella, and laws change every year. They can go in, keep your legal matters updated by going in and making those changes because they all will collaborate with each other. Understand that if you choose someone to write a will, someone to do a trust, somebody to do estate planning, none of those, especially if you use different attorneys for those three components, none of those will collaborate with each other. So it is best in your best interest to make sure that you choose, and I work with one, but know several in the areas throughout Central Florida that I could refer you to that are elder law attorneys. So that's what I do as a certified senior housing professional. And that's a part of my network. So understand that aspect of it, and also work between you and your spouse or significant other. As we age together, let's make sure we have everything in place and we share with each other's spouse or significant other what our responsibilities are, what we are doing for each other. So that's very important. Also understand that if there's children, stepchildren, etc., that are involved, there might be some heirlooms that you want them to have, or they want to have something that you have before you pass or once you pass, so they can take possession. So make sure that all that stuff is addressed. Also, make sure that there is no sensitive evidence or secrets left behind of either spouse. Just make sure that stuff is all put to bed. And once either passes, and as people sift through your possessions, nothing comes to surface that's at, really, I never knew that. Or what a shock. I didn't know that that happened. So make sure you don't leave any sensitive evidence or secrets behind. Just food for thought.
Do you need help drafting wills, trusts, or administering the estate prior to the death of a loved one? At Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law, we have the experience necessary to guide you through the process. We offer large firm services with a small firm feel, providing you with expert advice and creative solutions to the issues you face. Call Palumbo and Bertrand at 407-960-2835 and schedule your appointment today.
When you make a move or you don't make a move, doesn't make any difference. Just make sure you got all that stuff put to bed. The other thing too is once that spouse or significant other passes, what do you do with the house that you lived in together? And some situations, it can be 30, 40, 50 plus years. There's a lot of memories, a lot of history, but what do you do? And is your health at its best? And if you just relied on each other for a relationship to talk to someone day in and day out, and all of a sudden that spouse is gone, it's going to be very lonely. And in some cases, very depressing. So when that happens, or before that happens, have that conversation. And what I suggest is if one or the other's health is declining, that you make a move to an independent assisted community Whereas you build friendships with other people that are similar in age and in similar situations that you are. Because if you do that, and once you're in place and that spouse or significant other has passed away, at least you'll be able to have support from your new friends and family. And that's going to make a big difference for you. But also understand, if you make that move when one or the other is having issues with their health and it's declining, this way you've sifted through everything. You've downsized, you liquidated, your family's got what they want. You got rid of everything else. You got the house sold. It goes into a will to be dispersed, or there's a lot of money. It goes into a trust to bypass probate. So keep that in mind. And I also know that as a couple, people will worry about running out of money. But it becomes more apparent as an individual or a widower, if that person passes, that they're always afraid of running out of money. So again, everything needs to be addressed prior to one passing away. And most importantly, one that needs to be really addressed. And I know it's morbid, and I always had a hard time trying to integrate that into my Smarter Senior Seminar Series events. And it was funeral. Most people don't want to talk about funeral. But understand, if you have everything in place, it makes it easier for the family that's left behind what your wishes were. And they don't have to be worrying about, what do we do now? And they can mourn the loss of you. Keep that in mind. That's a big component in everyday life, especially when there's a husband and wife or a significant other. It's trying to get all of things put together. If you're going to plan on aging at home, I started out the podcast of who shares what responsibility and how each of you need to make sure the other understands what they do. And of course, you got to have, if you're a tech savvy like myself and my significant other, we need to know the passwords of our accounts. So we have password books with our passwords in it. So whatever happens, they know they can go to that book, and then they can start accessing accounts to see what's going on. So I want you to keep that in mind. It's one of those things I don't think you've thought about, but I wanted to bring it to the surface. And in this way, if it's something that's anticipated with a death of a loved one, or if it's a sudden death of a loved one, at least the other spouse or significant other will be comfortable making decisions or taking on the responsibilities of that spouse that has recently passed. Again, who do you turn to? You can turn to me or Alba. We're certified senior housing professionals. We're different than other real estate agents. We don't charge anything to help you, but understand the only way we get paid and the only way we're able to share the information that we've compiled over the last 7 to 8 years is by listing and selling your home, if you have one, or an investment property. And then that way we're able to continue to do seminars, podcasts, etc. So if you have family members who are in situations like this or nearing a situation like this, please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any church friends, neighbors, aunts and uncles, cousins that you know are in a similar situation. Don't hesitate to give them our name, our number, our website, and we will help them by protecting, informing, and educating them, providing them options. We're all about them being proactive as opposed to reactive. And the last but most important thing is we're background checked on an annual basis, and no other real estate agents do that on an annual basis. So keep that in mind. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you'll continue to watch more of my podcast because it's preparing seniors and active adults for the future as they age, because we're all living longer. Thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to you contacting me and listening to more of my podcast or attending one of my Smarter Senior Seminar Series events. Keep sharing the good about helping seniors and active adults. In closing, I hope you enjoyed today's Get Your Weekly Slice. If you'd like to discuss further today's topic, you can reach me via email at mike@your, Y-O-U-R, Florida, spelled out, Haven, Haven.com, or call me at 407-340-5291 to set up an appointment. I provide a free 1.5-hour in-person meeting to discuss your future plans on aging while providing you a minimum of 3 options to choose from. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. While on my website at yourfloridahaven.com, sign up for my monthly newsletter, RSV to any of my in-person events, which are held at the Orange County Library, Smarter Senior Seminar Series events, and to view any and all of my videos and podcasts. We hope these podcasts are helpful, and if they are, please share with your friends, family, and neighbors by letting them know what we offer as certified senior housing professionals, designated real estate agents, to our seniors and active adults as they age. We're a connector. It is about keeping seniors in the know. Till next time, when you come back to get your weekly slice.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law.